Alright, I think we're out live now. Do my usual, waiting a few seconds, make sure all connects and goes through. But hello to the people that are already here. Alright, I'm seeing it actually connect. Oh, I see Charlie Edwards is here. My first live stream. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Sarah. Alright, it's all good. Sweet, sweet. So this is the Goop Monster that I made last time, which is very cute, obviously. I'm not sure what I'm going to work on today. I'm kind of bouncing between doing spell effects right now or an Enchantress, and I have no preference, so if you guys would like to put in preference, feel free. Alright, I don't hear any music in the background, so let me test that. Ah! The song was just not playing. We're fine now. And I love how I say that I don't hear any music, like it's playing. It's just this 20-second delay always messes with me. But yeah, I'll wait like a minute or so, because I mentioned doing spell effects, but it'll take a second. Or Enchantress. Alright, Sarah says Enchantress. Vote 1. I'm kind of thinking Enchantress, too. I can show off ZBuilder then as well, which is really, really cool Z plugin that just like saves me hours of work, and it's very nice. Alright, I think we're all set. I'm going to play my music now. And like always, if you guys are curious what I'm still listening to, I'll put it in the chat. Boop. But yeah, I've been listening to this Zelda lo-fi playlist for like, I don't know, 2 months now. I'm just thrilled with it. I think it's the bee's knees. Alright. Doot, doot, doot. Alright, I think we're all set. Let me get live chat. I'm gonna go with Enchantress, because that's what Sarah said, and I was leaning towards it a little bit anyway. Alright, so now can I show you guys my process of like how I find concept art and stuff too. It's really complicated. Alright, let me go to a new desktop. Alright, and then we reach awkwardly over my keyboard. Enchantress D&D, and let's see what the world of Google has for us. I have a reference that I already really like that I'm probably going to see, and yeah, here we go, this one. I am really partial to this. I just think it's really, really cool. I just think it's dramatic with the hood, and I probably would do the owl too, because I just can't resist. But yeah, I think more classic, like Enchantress, is usually more like a Temptress, like this, and I'm like, Enchantress, Temptress, like, I'm not saying they can't be the same thing, but they're not inherently the same thing. I'm not sure if this one looks magic enough, though. I probably would give her like a staff of some sort instead, or maybe even a spell. Oh look, my head Enchantress that I made a long time ago. I'm a little better now. It's not a bad model, I can just, wow, my Enchantress is on a few places. Anyway, but I can do much better now. I made that too. I also don't like that model. Yeah. I think Google's just showing me things that I made because Google's like, you have made this, your name's connected to this. Not a ton of great references. So I'll click on this one and I go to the related search as well. I really like the style of her clothes. That's pretty neat. I do like the more tribal look too. I think it's really interesting. This reminds me of Yennefer. Very cool. Oh, I like this too. It's like a classic witch. That's very cute. But yeah, I think I'm going to do dramatic dress with a cloak. Oh, this one's really good. I like it. I like it. Alright, so I'm going to pull that up on my other computer really quick now. You guys get to look at the goop for right now. And I'll go ahead and grab those references for me to look at while I work. There's one. There's two. A lot of these have like Grim Reaper vibes. That's very cool. Sweet. Now pull it over the live stream so I can actually see you guys talk. There we go. Sweet, let's get rolling. All right, we are done with the ooze. I already know that I saved it, but since I'm here, I'm like, I have to save it again. All right, always press comma for lightbox. My pile of quick saves. Wow, it's taking a while to load. Probably because I have too many quick saves. You know what, let me just do that right now and delete all of those, because that was very laggy. Delete quick saves. There we go. Alright, and I'll open up a ZBuilder, which is really cool. And I think it usually causes these live streams to be demonetized because just naked people, but it's okay. Sarah says, why would you have the Grim Reaper vibes? You piss off a magic user and get a fireball. Not the magic or the mage themselves, the concept art, because a lot of it's very Victorian Gothic attire. So a couple of them I saw had a scythe as well. My monthly license expired, not activated. I don't have to re-download it. What? What? This makes me very sad. I'm just gonna do it again. No. I don't know why this would happen. This is super annoying. I bought this like 2 months ago. Whatever. Well, I don't want to do that. So we're just gonna do this the old-fashioned way, which makes me annoyed, but it's fine. I did see that in some of the negative reviews of ZBuilder, and I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. You just do it right, that won't happen. And here I am. It happened to me. I don't even have anything ready for this. Sad. Alright, one of these is the one that I like. I think it's the lower one. Nope. It might be the other one. They're the same. Oh, this one's the green one, because... long story. I will just go with this one. Alright, well, this isn't what I wanted to start with, but it'll work just fine. Alright, gonna do some adjustments here, because I know ZBrush is very, very dark. Brighten that up a little bit so you guys can actually see it. Change the matte cap. Gonna do a mirror and weld really quick because sometimes these base meshes are not symmetrical. Subdivide a few times, and also gonna thin this out a little bit. I usually add more curve later on just because if the legs are touching it makes this like a huge pain. Just gonna tweak the base form a little bit here to be more what I want. Make her arms a tiny bit thicker. And that's all just for 3D printing stuff. Alright, pretty standard. Gonna go back to the lowest resolution, and then we're gonna start creating the clothes. So this will be really easy because it's just gonna be a gown of some sort. Not sure if I want to connect to her shoulders. I think I do. Usually I do like with no straps, but with this, I think I do want to. Maybe something more dramatic, almost like a halter. In that case, there'd be a gap here, and it'd be kind of like a low back. I do plan on giving her a cape, so you wouldn't even be able to tell. So I will just go ahead and connect that. Alright, that is a good enough start. So I can extract that and get that looking the way I want to. Gonna go to 0 thickness, turn off border. Gonna solo this, make sure it actually has 0 thickness, because I've noticed sometimes it doesn't do that right. And then zero mesh that once. That way it doesn't keep like the belly button geometry, because I don't need that. That looks pretty good. Looks almost like armor right now. Gonna inflate that just a tad. I also have transparency turned on, just so I can see how this is fitting. I think I made her hips a little too wide for what I want to do with this character. So I'll smooth those out a little bit. Almost a little more violin hipped. And then just for the extra drama, I might keep this completely like hitting the ground and then like a train behind it. So I'll turn off perspective so I can tell what's actually flat and pull this straight back. I'm going to reduce the strength of my smooth brush as well, so that way when I smooth this low poly dress, it doesn't just disappear. Alright, I'm also going to turn on display properties double, because as of right now I can't actually see both sides of it. There we go. It's just because this doesn't actually exist right now, because this has 0 thickness. There we go. Gonna raise that up just a tad. As of right now, it's actually going through the floor. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. The armholes are a little funky, so I'm gonna construct those to make a little more sense. See, I want to go like dramatic V-neck, but again, this is Enchantress, not necessarily Temptress. There we go. There we go. Very nice. Very basic. Alright, I'm going to do some sort of dark color, but first I'm going to assign the color to the base body so that way it doesn't change the entire body color. I'm going to do like a dark purple. That's a very nice color. So I'll go with that. There we go. And then I'm going to divide this a few times. Her face looks terrifying right now. That really creepy, life like CPR doll kind of look. Notice the ears on these base meshes are always so small too. Real simple ear. It's gonna be covered up by a hood probably anyway, so I won't go too crazy with that. Gonna make the eyes a bit bigger as well. And tighten up the nose. Alright, for Damn Standard I have this really like gross texture on there because that's when I was working on the ooze. I'm gonna start defining her lips a little bit better now. Also going to bring forward her cheekbones. I'll do that with an inflate brush. See how that does. It did okay. Make her face a little more narrow probably. Give her kind of like a sharper chin. Again, pay some more attention to the top part of her lip right now too. And then go with pinch. Tighten that up a bit. Her nose looks so childish right now, so I'm going to bring her nose down a little bit, make it a little bit wider. And then going in with Damn Standard and then Lazy Stroke to build up that eyelid Turning up the intensity a lot because we're really low poly right now, so. It's a little too harsh. There we go. I probably should give her eyeballs before I forget. It's happened before. That face is already looking much, much better than what I started with. That's about eyeball sized. Let's get that put in here. And I'm thinking to do her eyes like an ice blue or like a really unnatural yellow. There we go. She has eyeballs now. I think we're gonna go with super unnatural yellow for right now. Also going to define her top eyelid a bit more here. And then also going to define this crease. Use pinch, get the tear duct looking a little bit better. Her eyes look really cat-like right now, which I'm not against. That looks okay. Again, you can go through it here and still just defining her eyeball. Smoothing that out a little bit and then pulling this up. Her eye shape is a little odd right now. Bringing that down helps a lot. So it's before or after. Because this should just look like a little like greater than sign. Bring her brow forward a little bit more as well. And then I have some like really simple eyelashes I'm just going to tack on here. I made these once, a long time ago. I didn't really intend to use them for every model, but they've been working just fine. I have to adjust each one of them just a tad anyway, because all the eye shapes I do are a little different. Go. And then just for kicks, once I adjust her face a little bit more, I'll go back to what it looked like in the beginning. I always think that's funny. Gonna lower the resolution because I want to adjust her jawline a little bit more. And the lower poly it is, the easier it is to work with. But she still looks really youthful, which is fine. But she almost looks childlike right now because her cheeks are so full. That's a bit better. Soften her cheekbones a little bit more. The transition was a little goofy. That's better. Her little disc ears crack me up. Again, I'm probably gonna give her a hood, so See Clutes here, hello, and Jester, and 3D Print Viking. I haven't looked at the chat in a while. Hello, all of you. Working on the Enchantress right now, who's looking okay right now. Once she has eyebrows and hair and like, you know, any color to her face, she'll probably look a little nicer. Can make her bottom lip a little more full. Go with the inflate brush. It's better. And then, yeah, just for fun, we'll go back to the very, very beginning and see what it looks like. So this is what we started with. In some ways, I like it more because it's so well defined. But, she's so smooth right now. Can define her Cupid's bow a little bit better. And let's give her some eyebrows finally, shall we? Oops. Pretty neutral eyebrow there. And then just a really light. Just kind of scribble them in. These are just more for reference, and I'll actually fully detail them later. Still looks better having this there than having nothing. I have some default hair shapes that I usually tack on as a base. I have one in mind I think would be perfect for this. Very cute. Alright, I think I'm gonna do just a classic dark hair. Perfect fit. Alright, let's fix this really scary looking hairline. Getting better, slowly but surely. I'm also going to Dynamesh this at a super low resolution. Because again, I'm just using this as like as a base. I don't like that it combined so much, so let me smooth this away first. I knew that was acting weird. I accidentally masked this part too. There we go. This one might have been easier if I actually did it from scratch, but I'm already here, so it's fine. This makes me lean towards not giving her a hood, but we'll see what I end up doing. Alright, Dynameshing that again. Still did that dumb thing I don't like. Oh, it's just the way that I masked it. That's all. I can fix that just by bringing this up and then increasing the resolution just a bit. There we go. Again, I like working really low poly when I'm just concepting stuff like this. The less polygons, the faster they are to manage. Give her a widow's peak. Just think it's fitting. I might give her some sort of like crown, maybe made of like bird bones or something. Might be a little too tribal for the vibe I'm going for, but I think that'd be interesting. Because her hair is slicked back like this, I just think it'd lean to that really well. I'm gonna paint her eyebrows on. Not that harsh. I usually color like more or less out of the lines for this, and then I just go back and when I clean it up, that's what makes it look good. Or more like better, just because like these eyebrows are very low poly. This dark color is not super forgiving looking. Just gonna give her a grouchier expression because this dark brows really makes them look a lot thicker than I was intending for. Gonna put a slight shade on her eyes as well. Nothing too strong. And then finally giving her some color to her face. A slight yellow tone for the forehead, just really slight. Very light blue for her chin. I don't know if this even shows up on your guys' screen because it's so slight. And then red for her cheeks. And go for a darker lip color. Really going for like Enchantress, Temptress at the same time. It's better. Yeah, I'm thinking putting like a big raven on her shoulder too. Just with the theme and going with this. I think her eyes need to be a little bit brighter. There we go. Her hairline's still pretty funny looking. Coming along. Thinking I'm not gonna do the hood. Adding a little bit more volume to her hair since a lot of this is like very fluffy looking. I want to keep that going. And bring it down a little bit on top of her head though, because it's a bit much. It's a little 80s. There we go, it's looking better. Haven't looked at the chat in a bit. Just laughing at Chester's comment. And then Charlie says, hell yeah to the Raven, right? I think that'd be pretty sick. Alright. Alright, subdividing this a few times. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this a bit lower because honestly I just don't want to give her shoes. Not a fan of shoes, in case you're new here. There, just barely gonna cover them. It'll look better when she's posed, probably. I think I want this to be like a lighter thinner material. So that's why I'm going to try and have it like hang straight down. Trying to grab this like tiny little edge right here to bring it out. There we go. Have that flow in a more natural way. Turning off perspective again to make sure this is all flat. Alright, I do plan on having her hands look almost kind of cursed. I remember for the beggar I did for the Townsfolk collection, I had like these black stripes kind of weaving up her arms, and I think I'm going to do the same thing for this. These are not the hands I'm going to use, they're so like Lego looking. I have my own that I've sculpted that I'm going to attach onto here later whenever I pose them. But for now, it wouldn't hurt just to have them on here for concept. So I'm going to go to Lazy Mouse. Turn up the radius, it already was. Get this color really dark, and then go to my favorite Alpha 62 that I use and abuse. Alright, so it's not doing color. Backface mask. See what I mean? Like something kind of like this texture. This is a little too dark for what I was intending for, but I just think it'd be interesting to have some sort of like evil feathering. I'm also going to increase the focal shift so that these fall off a little bit more. That's not really how this alpha works. That's okay. I won't get too carried away with this because, again, these aren't even the hands I'm going to use. This is just to remind myself for later. God, those hands don't look very good. Okay. Then go to paint. Turn this drag rectangle. And turn off backface mask. And there's kind of like a dark tint on her fingertips. Even though these aren't the hands that I'm going to use, I can't resist. I am going to modify them a little bit. Also to remind myself that I want to give her like really long dramatic nails. I'm going to turn off poly paint for this step, just so I can see a little bit better. That's probably about a good brush size. I'm just pulling these out, trying to be careful at what angle I'm using the move brush here, because if not, it'll just make her fingers look like they're broken. There we go. Just giving it more of that look that I'm wanting. These hands are still really funny looking. You get the idea. That looks much better. And then I'll probably do the same thing on the dress and having like these weaving up. And since if I'm gonna do Raven, I might just lean into this and just do like a full-on like Raven Enchantress sort of deal. But now I'm kind of concerned because I'm probably gonna do a Master of Ravens for my Townsfolk Kickstarter, and I mean I'll probably just make him a dude. That'll change it after that. Because I was thinking about giving her like some sort of shawl almost, like a boa almost, but it's made of raven feathers. That'd look pretty cool, I think. Let's see, I have some questions. Sorry, I'm not super looking at the chat as much as I normally do, guys, because I haven't made like a human character, it feels like, in forever, so I'm really enjoying this. Alright. And then Charlie said, maybe a hairband would hold that mop in place, right? It's a lot of hair. I'm thinking I might even just do feathers on the hairband too. I might be taking this raven thing too far, but I'm committed at this point. Alright. Charlie also mentions probably be barefoot. Anywho, I agree. And then Maniac says, could you talk a little bit about how it is to run a Minis Patreon? Thanks in advance. And then Charlie says, wow, I'm legit organizing my files. Mia files at the moment. Alright. I hope it's not too bad. I know I've like reorganized them like 3 times, it feels like, in the last 6 months, but this last way I've organized them sucks significantly less. But yeah, back to Maniac's question. I love getting questions, so thank you. Yeah, so what's it like to run a minis Patreon? Let's see. Just kind of like collecting like how I want to phrase everything. It's very positive. I'm actually just gonna take like a short little break here anyway. Let me get a render on her, and then I'll actually talk just for a little bit and be focused. Because if I work on this and answer that question, I think I'm gonna answer like not a great answer. This is like sounding so dramatic. Like I have anything bad to say. I don't. Everything I have to say is really good. It's like a dramatic underlit. It just looks so boring when I'm not done. And then Sarah says you can make it so she has a raven familiar with her instead of an owl. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a raven. 100%. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, so finally getting back to that, what is it like to run a minis Patreon? It's extremely rewarding, not stressful. You really just kind of work at your own pace. It's really, it's as hard as you make it kind of thing. What made it a little bit easier for me is that I don't really compete in the same arena that the big dogs or the big companies do. Like Titan Forge is, I think it's Titan Forge. Anyway, they're quite literally a company. I'm just an artist that does this, you know what I mean? Like I don't have like my own, I mean, I'm a business by like legal sense, but you know what I mean? I don't have people working under me or for me or anything like that. And it's totally unrealistic to try and hold myself to the same standards. I can still make like awesome shit, but I'm not going to try and make a value pack. I'm not going to try and make 15, 20 minis a month. And the reason for that is because even if I do, and I catch up to them, they'll be like, oh, I'll make my 10 artists work a tiny bit harder and they'll blow me out of the water. And that's okay. I'm very clear. I have no problem with this. It's very capitalist. It's fine. Instead, I just don't compete with that. I put myself a lot more forward because I really like to chat with you guys, interact with you guys. The mentorship tier and the Learn to 3D Model tier is actually my favorite part of my job right now, which I never expected that because I really love making minis and characters. But no, actually, surprisingly, I like teaching even more. So honestly, I expect in like the next year or so that it's going to be, I'm going to have more students than I am 3D printer enthusiasts. I'm still going to make just as much crap for 3D printing, so don't worry. It's not going to change anything for you guys. I'll just have more students. But now I'm really excited about that. But again, it does, I think what is stressful about running a minis Patreon is the assumptions, I guess. Like every now and again I get people who are just so concerned for like my business and like, oh, you could be making more money. Why aren't your models exclusive? Why do you release them for free? And it's just kind of obnoxious. I have people that message me concerned about like my files getting stolen or like why I don't have more precautions about my files being stolen. And again, I'm like, I release them for free. I don't care. People are worried I don't have password protection. I don't even respond most of the time. So that's the biggest thing. I think it's being confused for a company. It's like, no, it's just Ricky and I. Like, if you guys don't know Ricky, he's my significant other. We've been together for like 5 years. Yes, we're our high school sweethearts. He's the best. But yeah, it's kind of a dream of ours, and it's what we do. But yeah, I hope that answers your questions. If you can follow up questions, let me know. But yeah, in a nutshell, running a Maze Patreon is extremely rewarding. Don't compete with the big companies. That's just my advice. Just be you, make something that you love, and people will come. Don't worry about trying to make things that are... I think, see, some people are trying to worry about, like, what's in right now. Like, just make what you like. Like, I offered this month the Enchanters bundle, the Undead Bestiary, and the Steampunk collection. And you want to know why? One, because you guys suggested it and I liked it. But I picked those because I love them, not because I think it's going to make me the most money. Like, you can't predict what's going to make you the most money. I mean, you can predict and try, but, like, honestly, just make stuff you love. You'll do a better job. People will come if it's good. All right. And then, I'm going to say that wrong. Thorfiner. I like it. The Raven Feather concept reminds me of Morgan from Dragon Age. And the best way is, oh, you don't know this, but I am a huge Dragon Age geek. Like, Dragon Age is the pinnacle of it is my favorite fucking thing. So it makes me so happy you say that. I'm getting, like, way too excited about that. No, I've been, like, tripping over Dragon Age 4 because it's not here yet. And they keep releasing, like, Mass Effect Andromeda. Nobody wanted that. Nobody wanted that. And now they're remaking Anthem again, which some people might want that. That one did look a lot cooler. But I am just ready for Dragon Age 4. Oh my goodness. But yes, thank you for the huge compliment. I don't know if you played Inquisition, but when she comes back and she's the court, not the court empress, what the hell are they called? Like counselor. Anyway, but the dress that she has and that big old like crest and stuff, oh, it's so cool. I should just remake that into a mini. That'd be awesome. But again, best comment. Thank you. God, I love Dragon Age. But yeah, back to work. Because I can talk forever. Alright, so I'm going to add some sort of like belt or like tabard for this, but before I do that, I might worry more about what's going to go on her shoulders, because this mini, again, the focal point is the face, so it's going to read very top down. So I want more detail by her shoulders. I'm going to solo this and kind of think about how I want to do this. Right now I'm just kind of like messing with like masking, kind of seeing what I want to do. I'm probably just going to extract some sort of little blob here and then just tack a bunch of feathers onto it. That's what I bet. I don't want to make this too long in the back because she has a mop of hair, as Charlie said very well. You're not even going to see it anyway. I'm going to back this away from the edges just a tad. And then probably pull that off of her shoulders too, because she's going to be more of like an aggressive character, and that always means shoulder pads for me. Huge fan of shoulder pads in my minis. Alright, Thor, I'm just gonna call you Thor. I played them all, just started playing Dragon Age Origins again. It was so good. Right? Oh my god. You know, I'm such a tool. I even like Dragon Age 2. Like, I mean, like, the combat was fun. It wasn't hard or challenging. It was tedious and repetitive. But I mean, hey, the first time, like, when you're fighting, before Flemeth saves you and whatever, and all the... Wow, I haven't played this game long enough to actually get the terms quickly, but anyway. It's actually really fun. You know what I mean? It's really quick pace. I really enjoyed that. But I just missed, like, the heart that Origins had, for sure. Darkspawn. That's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't think of the word. I kept thinking demon blood, and my brain was just like, that's what it's called. But they were not called demon blood. I don't know about you guys, but occasionally if I'm trying to remember something, my brain just gives me the same word, like, again and again and again. And I'm like, you can't throw something else in there? Like, okay. You know what? For this, I might extract with thickness. Nah. I will not still. Solo this. I'm going to Zeri mesh it with adaptive so it looks a little better here, and then start removing polygons. Clute says, can't confirm unless you have a team of artists and marketing department. Artisan Guild, Titan Forge, Raging Heroes will crank out way too much content to compete with. Exactly. Some people respond by just getting as niche as possible. I don't know. I've just noticed, like, every minute you spend worrying about how to better market yourself, like, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying people that really get caught up with, like, playing the game of it. I'm like, how about you just make some cool shit that you're excited about? You know what I mean? Obviously, Clute, you're really good at that. I love that elf collection you're working on. I can tell that you made that for you and that you super enjoy it, which I highly approve of. And to be clear, pretty much everything I've said in this live stream about, like, my advice and tips and tricks, I have done the opposite first. I'm like, yeah, total hypocrite in that sense. Like, don't get me wrong, I didn't just, like, come to this chill, laid-back approach. Oh, no, I was, like, totally concerned and, like, trying to, like, game it to where I could compete with them, and I've done it all stupid before, too. See, I might cover this in feathers, so I'm not sure how much that's going to really show. But I would just love to have some dramatic shoulder pads on there. Gonna hide her hair briefly. Alright, I don't like that I have like spikes right here and it's rounded right here. I usually like to try to keep with like the same shape design. If I was a little more clever, I'd be able to make this look like a spider web. I can think of some ways to do it, but they're just more work than I think how good it's going to turn out. Especially because I want to cover this in feathers anyway. So I'm going to resist trying to do that. I'm just playing with different shapes here. You know, when I divide this, is it going to just completely soften it up? Yes. I used to have like a button on here that would subdivide without losing volume, and it was like, I just saved it into a, the hell are they called? The word will come back to me when I come back up here, a macro. But since I've moved computers so many times recently, I didn't keep all my macros, and I haven't remembered how to remake that button. So I'll probably just add panel loops to this directly. I like how that's looking. Let's block out something interesting. I always like those really low slung belts. I'm a huge fan of those. There we go. And they always have like that little like circle belt buckle. And this kind of like, this pattern right here does remind me a lot of the mages in the circle. I just loved all the costume design in Dragon Age. It's all so good. I mean, Flemeth by far is my favorite. Oh my god, her Dragon Age 2 getup is like iconic. I have a cosplayer that I really like that did a fantastic job with it. It's actually the same cosplayer that I saw that printed my bear, and I like... I cried a little bit. I was so freaking happy. It's just wild because like this cosplayer has no idea who I am. I followed her for years, you know, to see her printing one of my models because it was on Thingiverse, you know, was a trip. And she was super cool and like gave me credit and stuff, but I wasn't really looking for a promotion. I was just like, hey, I know you and I love you. Also, that's my bear. All right, I'm gonna do this as a piece. And then I'll do the same thing where I zero mesh this with adaptive, and then I do half to get this really simple. Also, I haven't looked at the chat in just a bit, so I'll look at. Thor says, the tabletop RPG of Dragon Age is a great system too. Super easy. Wait, back up. What? There's a table... How do I not know this? This is like my job and something that I love. I'm going to look into that. That's going to be freaking awesome. Super simple, easy to learn, and Thedas is a great dark fantasy world. Yeah, Thedas is just... I love the lore in that game. And then Clute says, it's true, I love the Leaf Eaters. But backing up. And do you respond? That's pretty much what I do for my Patreon stuff. I do what I want to do. If people like it, cool. If not, I do it for me. Exactly, and it makes you like indestructible to any like really bitchy comments because you're like, well, it wasn't for you. Because Patreon, I think people forget, it's like you're not paying me to make something. You're supporting me to make what I already wanted to. It's not supposed to be a storefront. Anyway, hot take. Maniac says, is pre-supporting your STLs a requirement? I don't own a 3D printer except for ZBrush. I don't know pretty much anything else. Nah, it's not a requirement. People are just hella rude. Honestly, I'm always baffled people that are just like, your pre-supported STL didn't work for my off-brand printer I've had for 2 years and dropped 3 times. Can you make me pre-support STLs for this? And I'm like, hell no. Like, my pre-support STLs are not foolproof. You can't level your printer. I literally cannot help you. It helps, but... I would just charge less for a Patreon that you can't test print your models, or just be like super communicative with them and like really ask for a ton of feedback, and then don't get defensive when they're like, hey, this doesn't print well. There we go. That did a much better job. Indy says, sculpt's looking great so far. Thank you. I'm happy with it. And then Clute talking to Maniac. Unfortunately, pre-sporting models has become the standard. It has become the standard. You don't have to, but you probably should. But if you can't, you can't, you know? Thor says, fun fact, Flemma's voice was the actress that played Captain Janeway in Star Trek Voyager. No freaking way. That's so cool. I did not know that. That's very cool. I have like this hair poof that develops every time I live stream because this keeps rolling down. I have no solution for it. One of these live streams, you're going to see me just like a bunch of hair gel. Super cute. All right. Just made her silhouette a little bit more dramatic there. It's kind of looking a bit too soft on the edges. Okay, that looks good. I do have a brush that's a bunch of little like belts and buckles and stuff. I don't remember what it's called. Probably buckles. What do you know? And then later on, I'll actually look up a proper reference for how this like wraps around and stuff. But for now, that's gonna have to work. It will be a separate piece. Where is my curved strap snap brush? There it is. I just like saying that. There is a way that this makes sense, and it like wraps around the front of it. I'm just gonna do that later. So I'm gonna make sure these are all poly groups, just one group each, and I'm actually gonna merge these all together. It is undoable, but you can always separate by poly groups, so just having that as one piece keeps that a little more simple for me. Looking better. All right, and then I'm gonna do the same sort of deal for the bottom of her dress. Not a surprise, I'm going back in with my gradients because they are my favorite thing. Definitely way too harsh of an intensity. There we go. I might even go with a slightly lighter purple up here just to give more contrast, but I really do like how dark this is. I'm a huge fan of pink, but maybe not for this model. That's an interesting purple, you know? I'm kind of like that. And then yeah, with my gradients, just back and forth, try and get the smoothest blend I can. That looks interesting. It also makes this look not black. It makes it look like it's brown. That partly has to do with the fact that I have that modifier on here that makes everything look brighter. I have not saved this yet. Really feeling it on the edge today. You know, I'm just gonna call her Raven Enchantress just to make this official. Really, it should be like Enchantress with Raven, but when they see the design, they'll be like, oh, okay. It's not just an Enchantress with a Raven on her shoulder. She really leaned into the whole Raven thing hardcore. That face is just so like subpar of the faces I've been making because I didn't use like ZBuilder with like a proper, like really good facial structure, but I'm still pretty happy with it. Probably not gonna do anything too fancy with the bust area. Pretty happy with that. This is not how a dress would fit, so I'm gonna fix that at least a little bit. Just a personal pet peeve of mine. Because that would just be more flat. It wouldn't like tuck under her boobs, if that makes sense. It really drives me nuts when I see dresses like this and they're just like, here, let me turn off RGB. Anyway, and they fit like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like her boobs are just like tacked on. Like it's not armor plate, it's just fabric. And for some reason it tucks back under her boob. It's just a pet peeve. I'm like, if you want to make them big, that's fine, but like that's just not how clothes fit. Plus, I find this makes it a lot easier to sculpt the fabric folds and stuff because the base I have actually makes sense. And to be clear, not that I have a problem with sexy models. I actually love those too. I don't make a ton of them, or really any, but I think at some point I will. There we go. Still not perfectly realistic, but getting there. That gradient added a lot. Looking better. I think I'm going to start adding in the feathers. And for the feathers, I'm actually probably going to use a fur brush because I use this fur brush on the manicore and I actually thought it looked more like feathers. I can't sculpt just one feather and tack a bunch of them on there, but I'm actually a big fan of this brush I'm about to pull up. I think it's fur brush unwrapped. Yeah, this one. And then go to brush. I believe it's modifiers. I forget this every time. I don't do it very often. I think it's multi-mesh selector. And what this will do is if I turn it to 3, it will make it so it cycles through these automatically instead of just using the same piece of fur. And it really adds some nice variety to it. And if I remember correctly, this actually looks very feather-like, or I don't know, it just looks interesting. Alright, that's really dark and really hard to see. So, I'll just get like one on there that I like. Feeling really picky right now. There, that's fine. And then split, and then we're going to lighten the color up. It's Ricky. Hello.
The washing cure station is so cool.
Is it super cool? We got the Anycubic washing cure station, and we're going to make a review on it and stuff. Is it just the bee's knees?
It's the bee's knees.
Is that all you came in here to tell me?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like several bee's knees.
Okay, well, I'm glad you like it so much. This is coming out really good, if you want to see this. So I decided to make the Enchantress, and really leaning into the whole Raven thing. You can't tell because there's no feathers on her yet, but she will have feathers soon, and a bird. But yeah.
That is super cool.
Yep.
Super awesome.
People have been chatty and delightful, like always.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Good. Hi people.
They're also great.
I might join.
Like, look how polite this question is. Bearded Flannel Man said, sorry if this sounds ignorant, but why do you paint your models as you go? Is it an idea for after you print them yourself, or is it for the viewers? So, great question. There's really no reason for me to be doing this because it doesn't affect the print at all. I paint them as I go for me. It used to be for the viewers because my friend Walker was watching a live stream and he was like, hey, what if you gave her red hair? I was working on an elf. And so I did. And I was like, that was kind of cool. And I just kept painting them. And since then, it just adds like, it makes me more excited to make the model because they have like a whole like look to them. I don't know, being able to see them in color just adds a lot to it. But you're right.
Also, like, help you with your inspiration as far as like seeing what direction you're going.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than just working on a grayscale.
Yeah, but mostly it's just fun. But you're right.
It looks cool.
It looks cool.
Bye.
Bye. All right, let me read through the chat here. And Include says, I've been looking to the preset slicer, free program, right clicking, and audio annotation. Yeah, that works. You can always enlist a patron to print for your test print. Totally. Free subscription. That is a very, very good idea. And then Thor says enchantment, and that's got to be, oh my gosh. What's that character's name? Also from Dragon Age, but he's like the slower brother. Yeah, he's a great character. All right. Yeah, Maniac says Sandal. Sandal's name. Sandal's the maker of my headcanon. Awesome. Heck yeah. I love you guys even more. Like, I already like you guys, but like, these are my favorite things. I can't believe I didn't know his name. I need to replay Dragon Age Origins. I literally haven't played that since I was in high school, so it's been, what, 7 years? It's been too long. I didn't have time to have fun in college. Clute says, I've been trying to push away from the booby mail lately. Not sure if I was successful with my moon elf, but an intent was made. You were totally successful. That was awesome. Clute says, Ricky. And then Vera Flannel Man says, inspiration and fun is a great reason. I'm glad you think so. It's funny because I look in here and I can see like my poof getting higher and higher. I know like you can barely see it, but it just drives me nuts. I don't know. I'm a very kempt person. All I need to do is raise my desk. I'm not looking down. So, mind blowing. I do have a standing desk. I just don't use the standing desk for live streams because it's weird. Boop. I'm back. All right. Trying to make sure this is what I want to do. Yeah, I think this is gonna look the best. Thor says, thanks. I couldn't remember his name either. Alright, let's keep going. And then obviously these are not the most printer friendly looking at the top right here, so I just go in with backface mask and pull these down, and it does a really good job. Alright, I'm gonna need to hide the hair. I'll wait to that at the end. I'll do that out of symmetry. Looks really odd doing this in blue, but I can see it. Alright, time to go out of symmetry and start adding some more in here. Yeah, I'll see whether or not I like this. I think I do. I'm not sure. All very fun and rainbow colored. Making that all one subtool. get that its proper dark color. Where is the letter C? There it is. Oh, it's masked. I was like, why isn't this changing color? There we go. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily read like raven feathers. I just really like the texture for this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and divide these once. And they always look really weird and like too soft, but it usually works out. And then going back in with backface mask, my best friend. And then adding a bunch of thickness to this. That way it's not a 3D printing nightmare. You know, I didn't do this for the Manicore, and that has this texture all over its mane, and it worked out fine, surprisingly. So you went a little too heavy-handed right here. Probably because this is not in symmetry. There we go. That looks better. Because I've been working on her so much without any hair, I'm like, it's really starting to grow on me. Yeah, I'm going to keep her hair, but I think she looks really good without it too. Alright, she now has Harrigan. These are really reminding me of like wings actually, so I'm going to try to lean into that. Yeah, that looks sick. I am a huge fan of that. They do need some sort of texture on them. It is a little too smooth, but I'm very, very happy with that. It just needs like a single... Cannot see because I have black selected right now. All right, there we go. It just needs like one right here. I have to do this separately, otherwise it's going to have like a ridiculously high poly count. Why is it still doing that? No. There you go. Much better. And then move backface mask. Add some thickness. Do, do, do. And there we go. You know, I'm actually mad that's not like on top. So, I'm just gonna take that, duplicate it, and move it up front. There we go. That's more so the look I was going for. If I get caught up in like fur detail pieces like this, fur, feathers, whatever this is supposed to be, oh my gosh, I can lose track of hours of time. I've been pretty good about that in the last few months. I haven't done stuff like that. But sometimes it's very easy to get fixated on something. There, just need to zoom out. It looks fine. There we go. Go ahead and merge these all down together. And I now have that piece. And then what this purpose for the piece underneath is to add a thickness to it, so I make sure there's no gaps in the model. was also like a reference plate when I was constructing this. But now I can go ahead and merge these down together. Always trying to merge and simplify as I work on things. It would be nice if there was some sort of gradient on this as well. Just a little bit of color difference. I think just that goes a long way. There we go. She's very fancy now. Awesome. All right. Thor says, although in hindsight, I think they named him Sandal because he was dumb as an old shoe. Which is the thing, I guess. You know, I cannot believe that never crossed my mind. I was just like, his name is Sandal. I didn't think it was a shoe. I'm just like, yep, that's his name. That was it. That's awesome. And then Flannel Man says, staying home so much lately, I taught myself Blender and sculpting. Finished the first model last week, a Warforged Paladin. Heck yeah. Have you ever had any of the viewers made the switch from Blender to ZBrush? Let's see. I know viewers have for sure. Trying to think of names, not coming to me. But yeah, I mean, you totally can. It's a totally different UI, but like the general sculpting knowledge you have will transfer. And then Sora says, yeah, if I printed her with no hair, I'd be working on some intricate freehand tattoos when I paint her. Ah, that'd be so cool. That'd be so freaking cool. See, if I could sculpt tattoos on without making them look like disgusting raised scars, I would, but that's not what they look like. Tried. I'm sure there's a way, I just haven't toyed with it enough. Let's see, how long have I been live streaming? It feels like it's been like 30 minutes. An hour. A little off. That's okay. There's a lot of people here. Hey, hello. I see more than 5 people, and I'm not like super social. I get very tired in like gatherings and stuff. So for me, like imagining 11 people in this room, I'd be not thrilled about it. But the fact that you're at home and I'm at home is great. This is like the perfect social interaction for me. Because it's not totally weird if I just walk away and get a drink. You know what I mean? Just like, I don't know, for 10, 15 minutes. All right. I'm looking at my other references right now. There are parts that I like more about them, but it would not match for this model. Like, some of my other references are a lot more layered. They have like a lot of cloth right here, but I don't think that it wouldn't change her silhouette. They would just be lines on a mini that's this big. So I'm trying to think of what would be the most effective. Like this fur feather, piece is going to paint beautifully and look interesting. So that stays. That's worth my time to keep detailed. I think we go through and start adding these like stripes weaving up. Those will be, I'll need to really exaggerate those so they print. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna solo this. I think this has enough polygons. 11,000. No, this does not have enough. This would, wow, that's actually a really simplified mesh. Go me. All right, now it's 175,000 points. That should be plenty. And let's get my favorite alpha on here. And see how this does. I have backface mask turned on. Let's turn on RGB as well. Turn the intensity up. See, that looks cool, but that's not the color I wanted. Why is this not doing black? I might have to do with the alpha. You know, I don't hate it. I can roll with that. I wish it wasn't green tinted though, you know? So what if I go to like purple and a dark purple? Okay, it's doing the same color regardless, which tells me, yep, I'm using the wrong color. So you have 2 right here. You might have to press V to switch to the color you actually mean to do. Now it's black. I figured it out. Some of these things took me a lot longer to figure out than I care to admit. But that's okay. Maybe it'll help some of you. Alright. Just kind of toying with how big I want them to be. I'm a huge fan of really taking advantage of Control Z, as you can tell. So instead of like planning like, oh, I want thick or thin stripes, I'm like, I'll just do both and see which one I like more. Alright, so I have all these deep stripes on here, but let's see if they actually show up on the print. Ha! Nope, not at all. Alright, I can fix that. And again, this is probably just because it's too low poly count. So instead, let me do this without paint first. Alright, now we're at 500,000 points. If it's still not doing a great job, I mean, it's doing better. I can always close this up and Dynamesh it a bit earlier than I meant to. See, that's a much better texture. That will show up. If you kind of like slow down and feather this, you get a much better look, or really what I'm going for. I wish you could poly paint without poly paint being turned on, like, if that makes any sense. Like, I come back to this and it just be black already. That's okay. See, if you guys are like, it's too dark to see on your side, it's too dark for me to see too. I'm just kind of like guessing, but I know it's there. I know it looks cool. Alright, let's lower the intensity and the RGB. I do want this to feather up just a tiny bit higher. I think I got it. Ooh, that'd be kind of cool if I had some that were light color too. It wouldn't match anything else on the model, however, so I won't do that, but it'd be cool. Alright, now let's see how that looks without poly paint, because this is what really matters, what the print would look like. Yes, I am very happy with that. I'm going to go in with smooth, and what I'll do is I'll click smooth, and then I will let go of shift, and this is doing a smart smoothing. So it means it's only doing like the surface details, it's not changing the volume of the mesh. My computer's going to die. There goes my charger. I have so many cords in front of me for live streaming, so I'm like, it's somewhere in this pile. There we go. And we're back. Alright. Alright, my smooth is a little too strong. Still way too strong. There we go. And I wonder if I can add like some really harsh lines right here. Like, I don't know, I just feel like that could be kind of cool, you know? I think that looks really cool. I think I'm gonna keep that. It does blurry the concept a little bit, but it's cool and I like it. So, I think that wins. Oh, it's not going to have the poly paint though. That's right. I mean, it doesn't like super need it, but I'll do it anyway. It makes me happier. Just something small and simple. It is very thin though, so that's why I'm going in with a move and back face mask. And then I'm curious if I can separate this and then frame it and try and tack on the fur around it. It'd be even cooler. I'm not sure if that's gonna work, but if not, I can try and make it a curved brush and see if it'll work. If this doesn't make any sense, don't worry. You'll see it happen in a second. Or not, if it doesn't work. Alright, so framing, of course, no problem. Let's bring up that fur brush, and let's see if it will do it. It's not a curve brush, so it's not doing anything right now. If we go to stroke, curve, curve mode. Okay, it did something. The fur is laying on top of each other and not in the orientation that I wanted. I can try a couple different things. So yeah, that doesn't work. So what I'll do instead is I will append just like a year or something. I'll grab a piece of fur that I think will work best. That's pretty standard. That looks like fur. I'll go with this one. Divide it. Actually, we won't. I will create, this is an insert multi-mesh. And then I did this because it should have the correct orientation then. It looks like it made a brush for every subtool I have. I don't know why I did that. I definitely clicked on the wrong button then, but it will probably still work just fine. It did not. Why did you do that? Oh, that's because I created in multi-mesh, not insert mesh. That's why. Alright, this should have the right orientation. If it doesn't, I will be confused, but I'll figure it out. I just want these to hang straight down. Now they're not showing up at all. Why are you mocking me? What is this? What? Oh, that's why the brush wasn't selected. I swear I know what I'm doing. Why is it the wrong orientation? I'm so confused by that. Because it should match the orientation of what this is. I mean, this still does look cool, but it's not what I meant to do. You know what? It's still an improvement. It still is cool. So I'll roll with it. But I'll probably obsess on that not during the live stream and figure out how to do that the way I wanted to. I just want it all hanging down, which honestly, thinking about it in retrospect, I would have to support all of that, or I'd have to pull it into the model. It might look a little weird. Anyway, I look at the chat. It has been a second. You guys talked more than I thought you would. Here said something. Mir has his opinion suggesting Blender as a stronger sculpting tool. That is fine. But yeah, the fabric stuff is really cool. And yeah, I can't have so many polys. I disagree with Mahir, but he has a good point still. ZBrush is still the industry standard. When it comes to like just straight up organic sculpting, ZBrush is your friend. But if you do a lot more like hard surface stuff too, stick with Blender, and it's free. And the fabric sim stuff they have right now is super cool. All right, let's see what else. Talking about specs, all that kind of good stuff. A Ryzen 7. I might just look at that. All right, back to what I was doing. Trying to think of what else I want to add to this. I'm still mad that these feathers didn't line up the way that they're supposed to. Again, it's supposed to be orientation specific. So yeah, lining that up in here did what it was supposed to. So I'm just curious if I just turn this 90 degrees. Haha, that did work. Not well. Here, let me turn off symmetry. I bet that'll fix it. And it's upside down. But hey, that fixes my my 3D printing problem. Kind of looks like teeth. Yeah, I think that looks a lot more interesting. I don't like how perfectly symmetrical it all is, but I can fix that pretty easily. I still think it looks like teeth, kind of. But it is pretty cool. I like that. Looks pretty cool. Can lighten her hair a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna start adding a few fabric folds where I know pose isn't gonna matter. There we go. I did a better job than what I did. This is going to print and paint very nicely. I like a lot of the textures on this. I think the silhouette's a little boring, so I'm going to pull this in closer to her legs. Making sure it's still possible. Adding the fabric folds right here took this a little too far away from her body, so I'm going to tuck this back in. Beautiful. Really happy with that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Still have some other cool things to add. Again, probably something in her hair. See, I don't want this to look too much like a laurel, you know? I think that's what that's called anyway. It would be kind of cool if I had like more than one row of it though. Alright, now let's see how it looks without poly paint. Yeah, I definitely need to texture that a little bit so it's not so weirdly perfectly smooth, and probably add a bigger arc in it. But overall, I think that looks interesting. I do like it. Cool. Alright, I'm starting to get pretty hungry, so I'm probably going to end up this live stream and then resume tomorrow. But obviously I'll get an interesting render on here, and then look at the chat too, because it's been a hot minute. I have so much black on this, I really need to like brighten it up to make sure I can see her. Oops, that's not what I wanted. So it'll be a little blown out. She is glowing. But I can see everything. I can also just darken her skin tone a bit too. That lightened it. Yeah, because I have all this on the same. Here. I can just pick a darker background, but not just pure black. Ta-da! Problem solved. Alright. Zoom her out a little bit. That pose cracks me up. Pose is going to help a lot with this model. T-pose is just not doing her justice. Alright. pretty happy with that. I'll see how that looks on your guys' side, because I know it's dark, and I worked on a dark model. It's kind of hard to see anything, but she's gonna be cool. Okay. I'll look at the chat. It's been a second. Alright, I don't think I missed too much. Let's see, Mahir is disagreeing about something to do with ZBrush. Yeah, it sounds like your workstation is pretty beefy. That's awesome. You haven't met any lag or anything like that. Generally speaking, ZBrush is optimized to handle more poly count, but if you got the machine, like, you can do either just fine. And Sarah is gonna leave for dinner and come back half an hour with it looking epic. Oh, you leave her. Gotcha. You left, you come back. Looks awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Then Bearded Fan Man says her feather mantle thing is awesome looking. That's the perfect phrase for it. Yeah. Feather, fur, mantle. I don't know. I just know that I like it. And then Maniac says, what's your favorite 3D printer? I have clumsy hands. I know post-processing your prints is a pain. And is there a printer that you could recommend? What's easier to use, even if it's not by that much? I'm just a huge fan of the Anycubic photons. I have 4 of them. And then I have one Lego Mars that I literally hate. I don't share that opinion too much just because I think I got a bad printer, actually. I can't level this damn thing. Like, I don't know what's wrong with it. But no matter what I do with it, all of my bases come out, like, smashed. Even if I angle them back, like, it just crushes those first layers. It's just stupid. Anyway, I just like the Photon a lot more. Plus, the detail is actually better. I don't know why. Again, I think I just got a bad Mars, so lots of people have gotten fantastic prints on Mars. And I'm going to get the Lego Saturn, so I'm definitely against Lego. Charlie says, she looks so cool. Thank you. Oh, Joe Panada. What up? Or Piana. I said your name wrong. Sorry. But, oh, I caught a live one. Yeah. Anyway, no, I recognize Joe. Joe has supported, like, every Kickstarter. I've just been, like, a super friendly, awesome dude. So, what up? Clute says, I love my E-Packs. X1 DJ. That sounds so fancy. But yeah, E-Packs are awesome. If you really want a no-fuss one, Formlabs is the way to go. They're super expensive. You don't have to, like, touch or look at resin. You just have, like, these little cartridges, and you put it in, like, the prints that you are, and then just prints happen. Like, I've never used one, but I know how they work. They're very fancy and expensive. Clute says E-Packs comes pre-leveled. Oh, that's pretty fancy. She looks gorgeous. I'm really happy with this. It is a little darker on your guys' side, so I'm going to try to brighten it just a tad so you can see what I see. She looks cool regardless. But yeah. I'm surprised it took me this long to get, like an hour and a half to get this much work done. Because it looks really simple to me, but I did try out some new things I'm happy with. I'll need to make sure I tie her belt correctly. Just like the little details that really go a long way. Just this one little drop isn't actually tying anything together. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm definitely going to make her fingers a lot longer and sculpt those hands. It's going to be really cool. I might actually end up using these hands because I'm lazy. And they're for minis. We'll see. And here says, Formlabs are so slow, though. Again, he wasn't asking for speed. Just, like, fancy and easy. And yeah, the Form 2 refurbished starts at $2,500. Oh my god. Yeah, you could buy a lot of photons for that. I don't super recommend it. They're very bougie. Alright. Let's see. Still super slow since it uses a laser instead of an LCD mask. Yeah, but supposedly they get higher resolution. Looking at the comparisons, it was like this very specific model that had a bunch of like skin folds and like right around like the eyelids and stuff. It was like really impressive on the Formlabs. Again, not suggesting or advocating for Formlabs. They're just bougie. It's supposed to be flawless. But again, for that price point, you're better off just like buying like 5 or 6 photons and like destroying 3 of them by accident. I don't know how. In the leveling process, I don't know. But yeah, I think she looks sweet. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'm gonna renew my license for ZBuilder. I don't know if you were here for that clue, but I tried to launch ZBuilder and it was like, no, you need to read down your license. And I was like, why? So yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I will see you next Thursday, actually. Actually did my Thursday, Friday appropriately for once. There's a few students in the live stream. I'll see you guys on Sunday. I think I'm going to do a creature workshop. We'll see. I still haven't decided. But yeah, you guys are awesome, and I will see you next week. Bye.